Saturn Cloud and NVIDIA put out an excellent blog post on how to use Dask and GPUs in Saturn Cloud. I want to show that same example using Coiled. So over here on the left, I'm in my local environment. And in my case, this is actually an EC2 instance, but many data scientists we talk to, they'll have a GPU on their local machine, or they'll have a shared development environment somewhere, maybe with access to GPUs. So they've got one, they've got some memory, they've got some cores. That's great. But if you want to push that to a cluster while staying in your local environment, you can do that really nicely here with Coiled. So let me kick off this model training task, just following their example. I'll up arrow quickly to the .fit command. And while this is running on my cluster, and by the way, you can see my cluster here, I'm on this local machine, this EC2 instance. This is going to be just like your laptop, and it's 4 cores, 16 gigs of RAM, and a GPU. And I'm doing this now on a cluster, a Coiled cluster that has 4 machines, each of them with 4 cores and 16 gigs of RAM and a GPU to give me an overall much larger cluster. This is nice, and I can do my Dask things here with Coiled, all well and good. One fun tidbit here is when you start working with GPUs, your machines get more expensive, your cost goes up, right? So you want to optimize the work that you're doing because the faster your code runs, the less you're going to spend. Coiled is going to surface a lot of this information for you. So I'm going to come over here to my Analytics tab, and you can see as I jump into this cluster, the computation that we just ran. And Coiled is picking this up, and it's going to give us some interesting information about this. In particular, the costs. We're going to see what actual tasks are being run. So I know that this cost me 61 cents so far, and I can now go in using this meta information and start to speed things up. If you talk to one of our Dask engineers, they can really help you go faster and thus save more money. So to quickly recap this, I loved the recent Saturn Cloud and NVIDIA blog post on doing GPU computation with Dask data frames and doing ML on Saturn Cloud. That same thing works over here in Coiled very nicely. And you can do this, from your local client, whatever that may be, with your local GPU environment. Push your computation to a cluster when you need it, and then use this meta information to actually optimize your job performance and thus save some money.